Hey everybody, I'm your host, John Myers, live from Stillwater, Oklahoma. We have got a great show tonight. It's John Myers. Hey everybody. Gotta have my notes. It's John Myers from the KICKER UnMasked studios. Gotta have my notes. Alternator. Hey everybody. We have fun. Hey everybody. Hit like and subscribe. Right here, right now. It's John Myers. We like to give stuff away. Alternator. Post some more pictures. We got to thank Steve and Becky live from Stillwater, Oklahoma. Don't forget Texas Roadhouse right here, right now. Hey everybody. Don't forget right here, right now. We have got a great show tonight. Hey everybody. Had a great dinner tonight. It's John Myers. Right here, right now. Had a great dinner tonight. So, hey everybody. So, housekeeping. Had a great dinner tonight. So, alternator. Housekeeping. Housekeeping. So, Tuesday night. Housekeeping. From the KICKER UnMasked studios. Housekeeping. Right here, right now. Hey everybody. So, it's John Myers. Hey everybody. It's John Myers from the KICKER UnMasked studios. Hey everybody. From the KICKER UnMasked studios. It's John Myers. Right here, right now. We have got a great show tonight. Hey everybody. We have got a great show tonight. It's John Myers. Hey everybody. Right here.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Wait, the camera's not focused. We haven't been here for so long. We're a little bit rusty. Sorry about that, guys and girls. Ernie didn't know which camera to put on. I forgot what to say. See, he didn't communicate. Ernie is famous for saying that a bad plan is better than no plan. But if you don't communicate the plan, Ernie, I don't know what the plan is. So it's like not having no plan. So it must be Tuesday, 7:30, right? Yes, because we're all here together. And it's been so long, I have missed you all. Bobby Burkett, 412. You checked in at 412. And Colin said that's because he turned on the stream at 411. So thank you for being first always. We appreciate that. Now I wonder, does your lovely wife remind you to tune in, or is it just automatic for you? Get back to us on that. But it looks like we've got a lot of friends here. Adrian, good evening. Thank you for being here. Philip Slusher, what's up everyone? We are up because it is late. Well, it's not actually late, but it's gonna be late. My daughter better be asleep when I get home because it is past her bedtime by the time I get home here tonight. So what's the show about? The show is about the history of Slamology. We're gonna have Donnie Babb in the feed. Now, I remember telling you all that he was gonna be here in the studio, and he was planning to be here in the studio, but Typhoid Babb cannot be in the studio because we just don't have time to all get sick again. If you recall, last month we were supposed to do a show. I came home not feeling real good. Ernie was out, so we just couldn't do the show. And then the next week we had a horrendous snowstorm and ice storm, so we couldn't be here. So here we are tonight, happy and healthy. Donnie's with us at a safe distance, and we're going to have a fantastic show talking about the history of Slamology. So thank you all for being here. We're going to do a short commercial. We're going to bring Donnie into the feed. We'll be right back.
It's been a long road since the original Kicker christened that first pickup truck. It kicked off a car audio renaissance, and upgrading your music in a vehicle was a requirement. America's music machines became living loud over your passion, your emotion, your existence. Outdoors or on the open road, your sound is Kicker.
KICKER Performance Audio. For almost 50 years, we've been rocking the planet with our world-class product covering everything that drives you, whether in your car, truck, boat, motorcycle, side-by-side, or even on your head. KICKER Performance Audio's passion for bringing you your favorite music like you've never heard it before is what drives us. So wherever you need us, KICKER Performance Audio will be there for you.
I saw that Bobby said that he's still at work at that time. So does that mean your lovely wife is tuning in on your behalf while you're at work? That's a good wife right there. So without, further ado, I don't have Jacob here to correct me. So with more ado, we're going to bring Donnie in because what you really want to know is what's up with Slamology. Donnie, come on in here, please.
Hey, Aaron, how are you?
Good evening. Doing very well. Feeling good. I am free of phlegm and congestion and fever. How are you feeling?
Well, I am full of phlegm, fever, and congestion.
You can have mine, buddy.
Last Monday night when we made the call, it was like, oh, okay, there's gonna be a snowstorm. I wasn't feeling real great. Yeah, I've been pretty steady temperature since that time. My fever just broke on Sunday.
Wow.
Ernie and I talked Sunday evening, and I was like, man, my plane leaves at 6 a.m. And he's like, don't do it, dude. I was like, yeah, I get it. We'll do it to the stream. And it's not the same without me being there. It's not. And I apologize, but I'm going to get more times to come on. It's not the end of the world. It's I think if anything this year, I'm learning that we all have to adapt to some changes. So me not being in the studio with you guys is definitely a big change.
Yeah. Well, we did use her flatware for dinner tonight, so thank you for that.
Well, let's talk about the flatware because I never show up empty-handed. So I'm gonna give you a little preview of steak knives that I have neglected you guys on my last two trips here. I don't know
Beautiful.
if you see those very well. So JW, Ernie, the crew, yourself, these will be to you. They're leaving the UPS in the morning. I wanted to save them so you guys could see them. They'll match the rest of your dinnerware. They're cool little steak knives. So no more butter knives on those steaks. And that's you probably even be able to get through those Texas Roadhouse rolls with that thing.
Ernie just tears them apart with his teeth, man.
He's pretty savage. And I don't have Kicker coffee. That's one of the main things I'm missing. I know every year I talk about that. I don't know what you guys put in the water out there. So I ran to the gas station. I do have coffee, and I have it in my little Kicker cup. So
excellent.
You'll have to excuse me this evening because I'm chewing gum. I'm drinking coffee. I've got a gallon of water behind me ready to go. So gonna make my way through this. We're day quelled up well and ready to talk about everything that's going on in the world.
If you need a pee-pee break, just let us know, and I'll just riff for a few minutes.
Oh, yeah, run another one of those cool Kicker commercials. That's cool.
That's right. I tell Ernie, you got to have a commercial queued up just in case I need to run to the restroom. So he's always got one ready to go.
I believe the first time I was on, we had a power outage or an internet surge or something, and I stood up and took off running to the bathroom. I was like, I didn't even think about this. And I slid back in just in the amount of time for the internet to come back up. So it worked out well.
Oh, let's see. Midnight Munchie says, is that flatware available? Do the yellow black handles? Kicker cutting through the competition. Nice one. Nice one.
There is that. We should hire him as a writer.
It might be AI. Who knows, right?
Yeah, in today's world, who knows? That's very true.
So, Donnie, please tell us what's going on with our beloved Slamology this year.
Oh, my goodness. So, as everybody knows, I mean, we did a press release about a week ago, planning on being on the episode last week while it was a little more fresh news. But we can't find a venue that meets our standards. 21 years of doing this show, we've set a par for ourselves, and for us to stay on that par with our sponsors, our vendors, our participants, I mean, our entire Slamology family, we just haven't found a place that fits us right yet. There's plenty of venues. There's a lot of places that would love to have us. There's either not enough room, there's not enough accommodations. Something that's really big with me, I hate going to an event or somewhere and the crowd is just massive, and then you're standing in line at porta pots. And
yes,
and to me, as Slamology, a family man, somebody that's had kids, I've pushed strollers, I've done it all. I've got nieces and nephews. I've been through all that. And for a woman to have to change a baby in a porta pot is unacceptable.
yes.
And then you're going to have some drunk stumble in there. You're going to have them fall over. It's going to be a mess. So that's a lot of what we've been dealing with. And a few venues that we have found have been absolutely amazing. And we're still working very hard on some of those venues. But what's happens is there's management changes and there's different stuff that goes on throughout the year. And we thought for sure we had one on lock and we were going to announce it the 1st of January and all was going to be good. I was going to be out there for New Year's and be like, hey, this is great. This is what's going on. And actually the director of the facility had been let go. They didn't start doing new contracts until 2025 because he had to get 15 days, into whatever.
Yeah.
They didn't even renew anything unless people were on multi-year contracts. But when they did renew, they gave another automotive event a 5-month gap of all summer of guaranteed no automotive events during that time. Very smart business by this promoter. I mean, that's bravo. I mean, that's amazing. He's protecting his sponsors and protecting his airspace there in that town. So it makes perfect sense. So either way, we're working hard and we're negotiating. Our legal team's been working with multiple different venues. I think something that a lot of people need to know and understand, and we'll get into this more, is as our show has grown to the size that it has, when you say, hey, we have 4,000, we have 2,500, between audio and car show vehicles. Yeah. But then we have another 4,000 cars that are out in the spectator lot and 20,000 people coming through those gates. You need a massive facility size, and you need a place that can handle that. And you need tickets. You need a place to do tickets. You need, obviously, a town that's going to stand behind us, something like Slamology. As we've continued to grow, so is our noise. And, we have a 5-mile circle of noise. So it's something that everybody has to embrace and everybody has to get on board with together. So,
did you ever have an opportunity to go to any of our SEMA parties, the Big Air Bash?
Oh, I never missed a one. Actually, hold on one second. I'm going to surprise you.
Hey, Chris Jack, I'm seeing you there. Thanks for checking in, Chris. Chris Jack is the Skills USA National Chair for the Mobile Electronics Installation Competition. Chris and I talk almost every day, except on weekends, right, Chris? You don't call me on weekends. And he's saying hello. So what do you got there, Bobby?
Here's some Big Air Bash throwbacks for you. Here is the way that you guys used to send the invitations out to us. So I don't even remember what year this one is. And then here's the shifter knob. And I hold this stuff dear to my heart. Here's where you guys sent the cases out, and then it had the little keys in it. And this is
go higher with it.
Oh, sorry. So this is this was Big Air Bash 7.
Nice.
And it has the coin that's inside of it, and then I still have the original invite letter that came to me in the mail addressed to my address. I don't know if you can see it there or not, but Kenny Wayne Shepherd, he played there that night, and it was cold, and a lot of people left, and we had a Kenny Wayne Shepherd party with 30 of us, and it was the most amazing time of my life. I still tell people about it every day. I'm like, if you haven't heard Kenny Wayne Shepherd in person, and if you haven't seen him in a private show, you haven't lived. And we hit the lottery that year at Big Air Bash. It was amazing. And so I know what you're going to say about it. So go ahead and tell us.
It's the venue can make or break the event, as you were saying. And we were so fortunate to have great vendor partners in our facilities. The Hard Rock helped us out many times, and the Palms, and it's just incredible. But without the right facility, you just can't put on the right show. So I appreciate the fact that you take it so seriously that you're not going to chintz out on the facility just to have the event. So thank you for that.
Well, no, and you're welcome. It's to us, obviously, financial. It's going to sting a little bit. This is 22 years that we've been doing this, but when we look at it, Slamology is not a 22-year plan. I'm a 50-year-old man. I've got a lot more energy left in me, and we have a staff, and we have a staff of young guys and people coming up behind us, and I don't foresee. I mean, I'm going to live without, with Slamology until the day I take my last breath.
Yes.
So I probably have a lot of that in common with Steve Irby, where it's like, oh my gosh, like this is just who I am, and I don't want to do anything different. I started promoting car shows back in high school. After high school, I got involved with a car club here locally named Latest Craze, and some of those people I'm still dear friends with to this day. We started a little show called Indie Truck Bash, and it was a little show at that time, and it grew into a monstrosity, and it became so large that our car club couldn't handle it. We ended up selling it to a promotion company, and that promotion company took it over, went to Lucas Oil Raceway. So Slamology is kind of going down the same path that it was. Unfortunately, it had to die at Lucas Oil Raceway, and I refuse to go out like that. They're not going to hold my head under the water. So we're going to continue to keep that going. But pretty cool on that is we were actually inducted into the Mini Truck Hall of Fame this year at the SEMA show for our Indie Truck Bash show. So
congratulations.
One of my best friends in the world, David Figg, he was the president at the time, and he was the leader of all that. And when we sold to that promotion company, he went to go work for them full time. And that's the same year that I started Gage Media Group, started Gage Magazine, started doing graphic design, and, just kind of my whole entire career exploded after the sale of that. And then when we started Slamology, we needed another show in Indianapolis to connect with our readers of Gage Magazine. So we started Slamology at the Marion County Fairgrounds, and, here we are 22 years later.
Hey, real quick, for the audience that doesn't know what Gage Magazine is, give us a quick rundown on what that is, please.
So Gage Magazine, we started that 26 years ago, actually in January. We turned 26. It's an internet magazine that is mini trucks, lowriders, hot rods, 4x4s, fine women, just everything, everything that's great about the industry. Well, a lot's changed in 26 years with the magazine, because 26 years ago, really nice cars, or hot rods and hot models were hand in hand.
Yes.
Now AI thinks it's porn and cars, and it's like, no, it's not. It's not what we're doing. Beautiful women and beautiful cars are just lines that go together. So, but either way, so we've been doing that magazine monthly for 26 years, and we produce a new issue every single month. And it's a 100-page magazine. It's a digital flip book online. You can read it that way. We have a very large blog, and we have 26 years of show coverage out there. We have 4 terabytes on a server that sit out there to wait to deal, to spit out pictures every single day. We average around 100,000 unique visitors a month, and we stay busy. And I mean, obviously, Kicker, you guys know you're one of our biggest advertisers, so you guys know the benefits of having our market right there in front of us. And it's so cool with the internet, because not only do we have a huge following in the United States, we have a huge following overseas. We have a huge following. I mean, everywhere around the world you look, and there's some days I'll get on in the middle of the day and be like, there's 1,000 people on our website in England today. This is crazy. And it could be an article, it could be whatever that, just makes people go crazy.
Oh, that's great.
And it's cool. So, and that's when we started Slamology, it was a way to connect to our readers, and especially on a local basis. At that time, we were small. You had to get on AOL to even get to our magazine. So you had to go.
What?
Yeah, exactly. You had to go through all that just to get on the magazine.
So you shared some notes with me about kind of just a general direction we wanted to go, and we've already covered a lot. But we have some pictures too. Can we jump into the pictures?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Ernie, can you pull up my laptop, please? So Slam. Now, is this the latest, or is this the original?
Yeah, this is what we call our graffiti logo. We introduced this logo around 3 years ago. So yeah, this is our latest logo. Elgin Harris actually designed that. One of the guy that does the big graffiti slam sign every year at Slamology. When I first met him, he came into our office and he hands me this collage that's just nothing but, it says Slam, Slamology, all this stuff, and it's all in crazy weird graffiti. And that logo just stood out to me in my mind. So we took it out of there, clipped it up, vectorized it, got the okay with him, and then kind of turned that into our modern brand.
Nice. Okay, I got to zoom in on this.
Yeah, you have to zoom in on that. So you could probably even dump my picture to show that off, because this is wild. This was at the Marion County Fairgrounds In 2005, probably, this is probably like the second or third annual Slamology. We had like 230 cars that were there. But if you look at the stage where the big Slamology sign is over the top, on the left-hand side there, you can see a big white stripe coming down. That was a great big slip and slide that we had. It was 150 foot long that went down a hill. And we covered it with soap. Yes, if you can zoom in on it, check it out. I don't know if you can zoom in on it anymore or not.
Yeah, it's pretty low res.
I mean, you got to think our digital cameras back then were not what they were today. And if you look at the end of it there, you can see the big blue pit right there. That was a big blue foam pit. So we had a foam party there, and then we had kids and adults, everybody going down the slip and slide all day. And then right underneath the Slamology, there's a big stage right there. And that stage is where we, started our music festival side of it. And we started doing with local Indiana bands. So people were in the car show all day. They're jamming to the bands. There's kids going down the slip and slide, people in the foam pit. It was just a massive party. And at that time, the show was on Labor Day weekend. Actually, it kind of got started that way. GM had started GM Accessories that year, and one of the local dealers in town came to us, and he said he wanted to put on an event like no other on Labor Day weekend. So I was like, man, I have the concept. Let's do this. And I put together a team of people. And obviously, I'd like to shout out to those people because that was our original dream team, and that's what we used to call ourselves. It was myself, my wife, Ginger, obviously. She's been a huge part of Slamology and by my side every day. Mike Mendenhall, he was our operations manager, so he was in charge of making sure the cars were parked in a straight line. He helped to gather the actual operations staff, and some of those people that were on that original operations staff are still with us here 22 years later. So
that's incredible.
Pretty amazing. Yeah. And then Jody Crua, he was our car show director. And he also owned a trophy company. So him and I did a lot of work hand in hand, and then him owning a trophy company and having a ton of background experience with putting on shows. He was from Dayton, Ohio, and had his own little car club, and they helped other promoters put on shows over there. So he had a lot of car show experience. So he came on with us. And then Merrick Reynolds, he was a local car show promoter here, and he put together all the original car show judges for Slamology. So he kind of kept the competition fair. We started with our original judging sheets and kind of put all that together. And actually, one of his judges that started at Slamology, he actually started on the second year. He just got his 20-year award last year at Slamology, right? Which is crazy to say you've been judging all those cars for 20 years. I'm going to say he's judged over 6,000 or 7,000 cars. And that's just an aerial shot looking out to show, that's a really small show compared to what Slamology is today. That's our employee lot looks like that.
Well, we got to start somewhere, right?
Well, we do, and that's what I like a lot with this year. I want to encourage small promoters to please continue to do your shows. I've seen a lot of people really upset and just so mad about Slamology, and we don't need to be mad about Slamology. Slamology is not going to go anywhere. We just need some more time to get it right. If we're going to move ourselves and move this industry into a bigger, more professional direction, we've got to have time to do it, and we're just not going to rush anything. That picture there, that's at the main stage with one of the bands rocking, or it might be during the bikini contest. There's a lot of.
So I want to key on something that you said when we were doing our pre-show meeting. You talked briefly about how some people who are a little bit unhappy that we had to postpone the show, they have been talking bad about it. And you mentioned how some of the venues will look at the social media presence around an event to help them decide if they want to be the venue for that. Talk about that just a little bit.
Well, absolutely. So obviously with our growth, we have a strong social media team, and our social media team is doing everything they can do to control as much as possible. And a couple bad apples will ruin it for everybody. So everybody just needs to stay positive and know that, not only our best interest, but the best interest of Slamology, the best interest of our sponsors, and the best interest of the industry is what we are shooting for. And our plans aren't to go anywhere. It's just that we're going to need more time. And when people go out there and put out negative stuff, they're not understanding that not only am I meeting with venues, I'm meeting with tourism bureaus. We're meeting with city, city mayors,
city planners,
city
Chamber
planners.
Of Commerce.
Chamber of Commerce, big time Chamber of Commerce, because we need to sell them our tourism and say, look, this is what we're doing. And that's something that when we started the first Slamology, I didn't know anything about that stuff. And I mean, every year you would think 22 years in it, I could say, hey, I'm a professional promoter and I know all the games and all the tricks. and I don't. And I actually, on the Gage Media side of our business, I work with a lot of professional promoters every single day of the week. And I help them with a lot of their marketing packages and do other stuff. Obviously, Slamology is not our only source of income. So, and even some of those people are total curveballs with some of the stuff that we have going on. But social media, as great of a tool as it is for marketing and everything else, it can also be a bad thing. And at awards last year, I did it twice. I did it once during the Car Show Awards, and I did it during the Car Audio Awards. And that video went pretty viral around the internet of me asking everybody, please keep it to a minimum. Like, there's no reason to cause drama. If we all want to grow and we want to continue to do what we're doing, quit talking smack online. And it's bad. And I'm sure you probably don't see as much of it. And I say a lot of our staff, they work really hard to monitor the best they can. And a lot of our participants do. So, I mean, from the bottom of my heart, everybody at Slamology, please, like, negative is negative. And we don't need that around any of us.
Yeah. Well, thank you for speaking to that for just a moment. We got some more great pictures. Let's show those so you can keep telling us the story. Okay,
well, this one is from the first annual show. That was our club participation trophy. It was 10-foot tall solid billet aluminum. That trophy weighed about 60 pounds. And Latest Craze, actually the car club that I was a huge part of, when I started Slamology, I kind of left Latest Craze as an active member. I became an inactive member, I guess you could say, because I needed to focus on that. And I didn't want there to be favoritism or anything, in the industry. And obviously, even back 22 years ago, there was always drama. So this is a picture with me and the guys from Latest Craze. They took club participation that year. I believe it was with like 21 vehicles. So, quite a lot smaller than the club and team participation award is now. But a great group of guys. A lot of those guys I have grown up with. And I call them family. And I still see them a lot to this day.
That's great.
And this is the Montrose.
What are we looking at here?
This is an aerial from 2024 Slamology about 10 o'clock in the morning. So if you look to the left, that's the campground. And then down to the bottom there, that's the car audio lot. Everything on the left-hand side where you see where the track kind of goes around. If you zoom in really close, you can see the KICKER booth right there at the entrance of the drag strip. Yeah, go down right there. You can see the big KICKER logo right there.
Oh, yeah, right there.
So that was, KICKER front and center as always. But so when you came around the
space,
so everything that you're in that part of it there, that's all car audio on the right hand side, and the left hand side is all car show participants. It's pretty wild.
That's such a huge facility.
It is. It's 200 acres, and we maxed out that facility outside of using the circle track. And we really wanted to stay at Lucas Oil Raceway. They're going under major construction. Indianapolis, as a lot of people know, is the racing capital of the world. IndyCar's located here, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and everything here is changing a lot. Well, NHRA owns that property, and that's where they do the U.S. Nationals. So one of their biggest challenges they have with the U.S. Nationals is having enough parking and having the facility size they need just to take care of their spectators. So the entire west side of the venue, or the left side of the drag strip there, they're turning that all into a great big parking lot that's going to be flat, and then their main entrance is going to come in there. So Slamology is not going to fit there. So this year, coming into 2025, pretty much the entire venue is going to be under construction. I mean, they still have some events going on there because the east end of it, or the right side of your picture, is going to be big enough for the drag races. But they plan to have all that other work done by September. So if we were to have Slam there this year, it would have just been an absolute mud hole and a mess. And we didn't want to do that. And if you look at the very top of the photo on the top side of the circle track, that's 10 o'clock in the morning on Saturday. That's our spectator lot out there. By the end of the day on Saturday, our participants were parking out on the highway and walking almost a mile to get to the ticket gate. Right. And we had trams. Well, that's now going to become the main gate. So come over to your right, Aaron, a little bit on the top of the circle track. Keep coming over right there. So all of those cars right there above that, where all those cars are parked, that's 10 a.m. on Saturday. Our gates opened at 7 or at 9. So by the end of that, all at the top of that picture, you can't see it, but that's US 136. We had people parking all the way out on the highway and walking all the way around there. Yeah. So some people had 2 miles before they could even make it into, just to get to the main stage.
That's crazy, Donnie. That's wow.
Oh,
Let's see
absolutely.
what else we got here.
Absolutely crazy. Well, this is hold on a second. I'm gonna turn my notes page because this part is I think we're a little ahead of ourselves. These are my legends of Slamology. So something over 22 years, a lot of things that you learn in life as an adult that you don't want to learn, or stuff the hard way. And these guys were my brothers, and all 4 of these guys passed away well, it's all happened pretty much here in the last 6 or 7 years. Mike Mendenhall, the guy on the top, that's Big Mike. He's one of the original founding members of Slamology. He was the one in charge of operations, everything else. He was with us at Slamology all the way up until we moved to Lucas Oil Raceway, and he got cancer. Oh, sorry, that this one hurts because that was a brother of mine, but he got cancer right before COVID, and then during COVID he had caught cancer, or he had caught COVID during all of his chemo and all that stuff. So Mike passed away in 2020, which was absolutely heartbreaking. And then the next guy down is Ricky Burke. Ricky was he was actually one of our head judges here at Slamology. So when Merrick left, Dave, the guy below him, came and helped with judging for a little bit, and then Ricky stepped up and became the head judge of Slamology. So he was the head car show judge for Slamology. Ricky, they found out he had some heart problems. He didn't feel real good one morning. He went to the doctor. They put him on a LVAD machine. So he kind of, like, we used to joke about him because he looked like he had this great big vest on, and then he had this pump that he wore on his belt, and it was literally his heart was on the outside of his body. He got lucky enough to, and I don't know that you call it luck because somebody else lost a family member, but he got a heart transplant. He made it to the surgery, did great on the surgery. Well, they messed up and they realized that he was allergic to the anti-rejection drugs. So, so that day, my wife and 3 other members of the Slamology management staff currently, and his wife and his child, which his youngest son is now a judge at Slamology, but him and my son are the same age. And we
cool.
Still out, it is. But we stood there and watched Ricky take his last breath together. And that day broke my heart. And it all revolves around Slamology. So it's kind of one of those, it's not all great that it thinks that it is. I know death's a part of a life, but to learn that from your brothers that you're building a business with is just so hard. The next guy down is Dave Mattingly. That's another one that he was in that picture of the last one where we had the club participation trophy. He was a president of Latest Craze for a lot of years. Dave was an amazing man. Actually, Latest Craze, as when we moved to Lucas Oil Raceway, Dave and I got to talking one night at a little party get together at his house, and we started talking about doing a limbo contest. So, and I don't know if you're familiar with the limbo at Slamology, but we do the drive-through limbo. So you lower the bar down, you lower your car, and we find the lowest car truck, and then he came up with the contraption. So we have people that make handmade contraptions, and our guy actually in 2024 that won the handmade contraption, he flew here from Hawaii and put all this stuff together in these suitcases, and then came here, put them together in his hotel, and won best contraption at Slamology. Plus, he won the longest distance. It was amazing. But either way, Dave caught cancer a few years ago, and we watched Dave deteriorate, and then he died this past year. And Dave's another one of those. It's just an amazing man. And then the guy at the bottom, that's Rick Hansen. As you could tell, Rick's he's a crazy man. I actually got started in car shows with Rick. Rick was his mom and dad were very active. They were very active in a car club here, a hot rod club in Indianapolis. So he grew up a car show kid. I met him in high school, and then he was at the time the president of Latest Craze. And we all just, I don't know, he taught me a lot about car shows and community, and we traveled the country together way before I should have been traveling. I think my parents thought I was staying at my friend's house, and I was in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee at the mini truck nats with Rick, and we were partying in hotels and just having an absolute ball. So Rick had a little shop here in Indianapolis, and he ended up closing that shop, And when he did, he started a tattoo studio. And Rick wasn't a tattoo artist, but Rick was an amazing businessman. And Rick and I, same kind of with Dave, you know, we were just together one day and we got to talking, and he was talking about the success of his tattoo company and how he was, you know, starting a second and a third location. And he said, Donnie, we need to do tattoos at Slamology. It would be cool if we could do tattoos at Slamology. And I was like, Rick, NHRA is our landlord. There's no way they're going to let you put ink on their property on anybody, man. We're too corporate now. You know what I mean? Like we're doing too much stuff. And he was like, no, let's turn it into an art show and let everybody's tattoo become their artwork. And we'll judge them. We're not doing the tattoos. It's just like a car show. We're just doing it with tattoos. So nobody gets tattoos at Slamology. They come and show off their art. And when we started that, the first year, there was probably 15 participants. And I think last year, Eric, his partner, Rick passed away, obviously. He had a sudden heart attack and died. But his partner, Eric, that took over the shop, last year, I think they had just over 400 tattoo participants. It took them 2 days to judge everybody. Wow. Right. And we used to do it in an afternoon on Sunday. So just absolutely amazing. So we started something. And as of right now, as of 2024, we were the longest running tattoo contest in Indianapolis. So like in the not only car audio, not only custom semis, not only live bands, not only a limbo, but now we also have this massive tattoo contest that's all kind of came together with it, which is awesome.
That's amazing.
It's just stuff you do as you grow as a promoter. And that's always been one of our things with Slamology is we want to keep it going, keep it moving. I love car shows, and I grew up sitting in a lot of hot, grassy fields, listening to rockabilly music or hot music, and wait until 3 o'clock for awards to take my $2 trophy home. And it's fun, but it's not exciting. So when, you know, Slamology, we've always wanted to be moving 100 miles an hour, no matter what. Everybody's there, they're smiling, and they leave with an amazing story.
So you've had to slow down to put on the show.
Yeah. That's what you want to call.
What are we looking at here, Donnie?
So this picture is just a small picture of our 2024 vendor row. Looking down towards the main stage. So this is probably a quarter a mile of the show, but it just shows you the type of traffic and the amount of vendors. Last year we had just over 160 vendors and sponsors. So it's kind of turned into like a street carnival, fair, festival, all in one. Everybody comes and has a great time. And a lot of those vendors there, some of those guys have been there 20 plus years as well.
So they've grown up with you.
Oh,
just
yeah.
Like your kids.
Well, yeah, I say my son has definitely grown up with Slamology. It's obviously we started it the year my wife was pregnant is when we started planning Slamology. So,
wow.
So my son turns 22 on the coming up. So next week, the week after on the 10th. So he, either way, Slamology be 22, he'd be 22. And then this is 22 years of t-shirts. So this is something that we've had a lot of people ask about over the years, and it's really something that's became a huge part of our event. And we sell thousands and thousands of t-shirts between Friday and Saturday. Last year, I think we ordered like 37 or 3,800 t-shirts, and they were all gone except for like men's medium on Sunday morning. So we sell out of them every year, and every year I continue to just buy more. So something cool, and a lot of people we get hundreds and hundreds of messages a week. So a lot of people have reached out and said, I still want a shirt. I don't care if the show's going on or not. So Jaybird is our designer behind the mix there for all the black shirts. He's been designing all of from that shirt down, from the 10th annual down. So he's done the last 12 years. He's working on a shirt right now that's going to kind of be a roadmap to 2026. And we're going to take a lot of the different elements and a lot of highlights from the show. And obviously we're going to have sponsor spots on there, and we're going to do a bunch of stuff, and we'll have those for sale here soon. Obviously with not having Slamology, we have to generate revenue at some point, just to keep the show alive for multiple reasons. Obviously one for marketing, and we're really stepping up our marketing game this year, and we're supporting a lot of smaller shows. We're sending trophies, we're sending awards, we're sending prize packs. We're doing everything we can do to keep Slamology name alive and keep it inside of the community, not just the car audio community, but the car show, the community, the tattoo community, the custom semi community, everybody involved.
Keep the momentum. Yeah.
Well, it's we plan on losing no momentum. You've known me what 4 or 5 years now that we've been doing this.
Yeah.
You know, kicker coffee, my ADD, something keeps me going, man. It keeps me squirrely, so we just keep moving. Now, we were talking about some of the highlights and stuff that are really memorable that stick out to me about Slamology. I don't know. Do you know who that is?
I do not.
Okay, that's Dennis Gage. So he did a show on TV called My Classic Car, and Dennis would travel, and it was on Speed Vision or one of those cable stations years ago. Yeah. And it's still online, and he still does, some different stuff online. He's really known in the industry for his mustache, and our magazine's called Gage Magazine. And I think my second year at SEMA, I had a Gage Magazine shirt on. And I'm walking through the show, and he stops me, and I was just starstruck. I was like, "Oh my God, it's Dennis Gage!" And he's like, "That's a good name for a magazine." I was like, "Yeah, it is." So either way, over those years, we kind of made a little bit of a relationship, not a great relationship, but enough that we said hi and bye. And I told him about us doing Slamology, and he's like, "Man, I'm not into that fringe." He's like, "I like what you guys are doing with the lowered trucks and the different stuff." So I started showing him pictures about how people are taking dashes out of old Chevys, or taking the front end off of an old Ford and molding them into these mini trucks and doing all this stuff. And he said, "Kid, I'll tell you what, I'm going to come out and do an entire episode of My Classic Car at Slamology." And he came out and he produced a 1-hour episode. And if anybody's online, I think it's free on Apple TV, and there's a couple other ones. Just search My Classic Car with Dennis Gage, and it is the most amazing coverage content of Slamology. And it was when we were still at the Marion County Fairgrounds, so a very small show. And I haven't got him back since we've been at Marion County. He'd have to do a 3-day, or since we've been at Lucas Oil, he'd have to be a he would have to do a 3-hour episode just to make it through half the show. But very cool. This is something that's kind of dear to our hearts. So this is Lindsay Kirk. A lot of people know Lindsay. She's our vendor concierge, and we call her Girl Friday here around the office. She's the one in the middle, and Ginger's my wife on the left. But every year we give away a award to a special staff member, somebody that really goes up above and beyond their call of duty. And that year, Lindsay was that person. So she received that award, and it's wonderful. I think we've given that award now to 13 different employees, and a lot of those employees have been here since day one. We've even had employees that just started that year, and then they end up receiving it because they'll leave their day jobs. They come here. We work day and night on Slamology, especially as it gets closer to the show. If you come by our offices and the lights aren't on at 1 a.m, that means we really got it going on that day.
Wow. Well, Donnie, we need to wrap up this fantastic conversation.
Oh, yeah.
And the number one question that I see starred is, do you have a location that you can share with us for 2026?
Nothing that I can share yet. I can't announce anything until all the final paperwork's done. Just know we're working on it, and don't fear. It's all going to be okay. And just put a zipper on. Quit talking all that smack online, please. Make our lives easier. There's so much more to it, and we're very close with the venue. We have a legal team, obviously, that has to review contracts, and we're still working with tourism bureaus. I mean, that's for us to make this move that we're going to do. It's quite a difference in financial investment. We're going to need all the help from everybody we can get. So getting the city to help embrace who we are and what we do, and to bring in the noise, and to bring in the crowd, and to bring in just the alternative lifestyle, if you will. I mean, we're not a rowdy group.
Yes.
We're 21 years. We've never had one incident. So,
that's incredible.
We've never even had a fist fight.
Good.
Nothing. And our crowd's amazing. I think I said that to Dennis Gage in that interview. It's just, we're alternative family fun, and that's who we are, and it's what we do.
That's great. Well, Donnie, always a pleasure. Thank you. I know you're not feeling great, but you took the time to be with us anyway, and we so greatly appreciate it, and the partnership that we've developed over the years. Thank you very much. When you do have a venue to announce, please let us know so we can help you broadcast the word.
I'm going to be sitting next to you and talking about
it. Excellent. That sounds perfect.
Coffee, right?
And we'll have some steaks.
Yeah, well, yeah. That we will. with your steak knives. Those will be to you by Friday.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Donnie. Have a good night.
Aaron,
We
thank
appreciate
you.
your time.
Yeah, have a good one.
Bye-bye. All right, folks, that was fantastic, and we could have kept rapping and rapping and rapping, but we have a few more things to talk about tonight. Let me check my list here. I always lose my place. Oh, yes, new products. I think, can we go to the other camera over here, Ernie? I think that probably the most exciting, most anticipated new product is this monster sitting right here. And of course, this is the Solo X18. Finally, the 18. And as you may recall, if you're a watcher of our show, that Mr. Irby, Mr. Steve Irby, nonchalantly, casually just happened to mention that there might be something bigger than a 15 coming. And that was a couple of years ago. And here it is. And I was looking at this tonight just before we went live, and these corners actually look kind of like knuckles, like you're about to be punched by the subwoofer as it's flexing. And I think that's pretty cool. So hopefully we'll start seeing some builds. I think actually, Andy McGill, I think you've got one of these that you're preparing to put into your ride. And I think I saw someone else had one too. I forget who it was, but there's a couple of them floating around out there already. So these are actually in the dealer showrooms. So you can go ahead and purchase one of these tonight if you would like to. A couple other products we have that are being shipping now. We have the KBTR, which is our Bluetooth receiver. So if you want to design and build a system for like a side-by-side or a golf car and you don't want a traditional radio, the KBTR is simply a Bluetooth controller with a volume, track up, track down, and independent subwoofer level control. And it's all in one unit. And we're going to show you this on the next show, which happens to be next Tuesday. Remember, next Tuesday we're doing a show, so it's back-to-back shows. We're going to show you more about that KBTR. We're going to talk more specifics about the Solo X18 and our KMC4, which is our updated marine source unit. And it is essentially a head unit. And I know a lot of folks ask, hey, when's Kicker going to make a head unit? Well, we do actually for the marine space, for the side-by-side space. They can also be used in classic cars, and we see quite a few of them in those applications. But that KMC4 is shipping now as well, and we'll talk more about that on the next show next week. So those are 3 new products that are shipping and available. And some tech questions. I always love tech questions, but first I want to show you, we get quite a few hits on our social media asking about teal small parameters and box dimensions and cutouts for our subwoofers. So if you take a look at, this is our web page. Watch my mouse here. I think we're frozen there, Ernie. Can you refresh me there? I want to show you how to find the teal small parameters and the dimensions of the subwoofers and such. Is it frozen? Okay. Well, if you go to our website and you go to a subwoofer like a Solo X, scroll down to the bottom and there is a little clickable link for teal small parameters that'll give you everything that you need for designing your own subwoofer enclosure. Of course, you can also use our app. We have a free version and a paid version, and the app will help you design an enclosure for any of our subwoofers. And of course, technical support can also help you. But if you want to do it yourself, like a lot of you guys want to do yourself, we can give you the teal smalls, we can give you all the dimensions, the cutout, all that good stuff on our website. Jeremy Brown is the guy responsible for populating all of that. So please check that stuff out. Now, tech questions. I have a pair of KMTC 11s. That is our horn-loaded compression marine tower system, the big one. And I'd like to run them in bridged mode from a KMA 604. So that is one of our marine 4-channel amplifiers. And this guy wants to bridge it to 2 channels to get more power to run his towers. How do I connect the RCAs to maintain stereo output? We actually have a tech paper on this because it's a little bit confusing. If you're going to bridge a 4-channel amp to 2-channel stereo, you need a set of our RCA Y adapters because you need to drive signal into both amp 1 and amp 2, left and right, but you only need 1 stereo signal. So that's why you need the Y adapter. So you plug the Y adapter outputs into the amplifier RCA inputs, and then you take that single end, that would be the female end, and you plug it into your left and the other one to your right, and that'll give you stereo output from a bridged 4-channel amplifier. And again, that is on our website on the Tech Support Tech Brief page, so you can check that out. Next question we have is, I have a DCWR12 blah, 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 blah. That means it is our preloaded dual Comp R 12-inch loaded subwoofer system. So the guy has that, and he'd like to know, what amp would you recommend? Should I go with the CXA 1201 or the new LX 1250.1? Now on paper, the power is almost identical. The LX amplifiers, which we're going to do a deep dive with Joe Hobart in a few shows from now, LX amplifiers have a bit more headroom, a bit more additional power than the CXA, but more importantly is all the processing power. So the big difference is going to be the fact that the LX amplifier has our KICKER Plus, which gives you a selectable frequency for your bass boost. So if your system is tuned at 32 Hertz, you can dial in the bass boost focused at 32 Hertz for maximum slam where your system is tuned, and then you can adjust the amount of boost up to 6 dB. So you can focus that boost where you want it. You also have a Q adjustment or a bandwidth, so you can narrowly focus that boost, or you can do a wider, flatter boost, which gives you a smoother transition from mid-bass to sub-bass. So you can dial in more specifically what you want. Also, the bass knob is far more sophisticated in the LX. The bass knob is, of course, level control, but it also gives you the Shock 2.0. Shock 2.0 allows you to add bass to music that doesn't have bass, kind of like rebassing your favorite hits from the 80s and the 90s. So if you've got an older recording or maybe something that's highly compressed and it doesn't have a lot of low end, you can dial in extra low end with Shock. So it gives everything a little more oomph on the bottom end. Also, it has an output clip indicator. This is great for the guys that like to really push the system to the ragged edge. If you turn your subwoofer system up a little too high, it'll start flashing to let you know, hey, you're clipping the output, and that's when you start damaging subwoofers. You want to dial it back just a little bit. It also lights up nicely, and it can match the color of the LEDs on the amplifier. And so it's just a really far more sophisticated amplifier. More than just power, it's got a lot more technology to it. So there's a couple of reasons to check those out. Fail picks. This is one of our favorite segments. Let's take a look at some of the things that made us chuckle. And again, if you see, no, that's not it. Where are the fail? Did I not save the fail picks, Ernie? Oh my gosh. I'll have to go to your email. Hold on, I'll go to your email. There we go. Okay, let me open these up here. So Ernie always finds the fail picks because Ernie just has, I guess, the best sense of humor. Whoops, iCloud is not, what's going on here? I am sorry, sports fans. This is not working the way I anticipated it to work. Okay, we're going to have to come back to the fail picks. Cool picks. So I've got to tell a short story. Brent Blust. Brent, I hope you're watching tonight. I did forget to reach out to you, and I apologize. It's been kind of a blur. But Ernie, can you pull up my laptop again? You may remember about a year ago, I'm sorry, it's sideways. This gentleman here, he sent a save the date for his wedding, one of those magnetic sticker things. He sent it to KICKER. No one in particular. So it went to Steve Irby's office. Steve opens it, he looks at it and goes, wow, this is really nice, but I don't know who this is. So it goes to Shelly, his executive assistant. Shelly takes it around the building, finally gives it to me and says, Aaron, can you figure out who this is? We want to find out who we should be sending a gift to. So I did my due diligence, found who I thought this may have been on social media, on Facebook, reached out to him, never heard back, kind of forgot about it. Came on the show, put it up and said, hey, if you know this guy, please have him check in with us. We never heard from anybody. Well, just a couple of days ago, I got this message from this gentleman saying, hey, that was me. That was my wedding. And I'm like, dude, we don't know who you are. We've never met you. Why did you send that to us? And he said, well, my wife, who you're looking at in this picture here, he says, my wife said that sometimes people who are having weddings, they've got extra invitations, they just send them to their favorite companies. They send them to their favorite brands. They send them to people they don't really know, but just people that they admire or companies they admire. So I sent one to you because I love KICKER products. He's got a car load of KICKER, by the way. This picture was taken inside the XRV at Slamology. At Slamology. So he took his, at the time, girlfriend to Slamology. And she is not into cars or car audio at all. But she put up with his passion, his excitement for this event, and he decided, you know what, I'm going to marry this girl. And now they're married. So I hope you're watching tonight because it's a great story and we really appreciate you. And, you know, just check your mail. There might be something fun waiting for you. So that's my story about Brent Blust. Oh, okay. Pull up the fails. We love the fails. You got to do the fails. So what we're looking at here is no air conditioning, no heating vent on the left side, but staging and imaging is absolutely on point. So that is fantastic. Just throw that mid-range right in there, and you know, you could, I guess, use the AC to cool the motor on that mid-range driver. So fantastic. Now this, someone's fuse job. Yeah, I know, we see a lot of these, and it's still funny. Every time you see one, it's still funny to think of the ingenuity, shall we say, that people put into fusing things. So yeah, again, if this is your car, we're just laughing near you, kind of around you, but not at you. We've all made mistakes. Next up, Ernie. So this, I was theorizing over dinner tonight that perhaps someone liberated this subwoofer from someone else's car and perhaps they damaged it in the process and then they tried to repair it and then drop it into their own ride. But I don't know, is that caulk? Is that glue? I don't know what that is, but it's a mess and it's not going to work very well. So there's some fails. And now for some cool picks. What? Did I? Oh! I'm sorry, I'm not in control, so I forgot. So Ernie says, hey Aaron, do you know what's wrong with this picture? Because, you know, I am an idiot. But so apparently, I don't know if this is a joke or what, but Ernie says this is how you professionally squeal your belt with your turbocharger. So is that right, Ernie? Did I get that right? That's how you squeal it. Okay, good. So yeah, so there we go. But I need to show another cool pick. So you may remember that Jacob, Lucky, and I, we were in Las Vegas for Knowledge Fest just a few weeks ago, a month ago now. And a gentleman came up to me, and Scott, he works for one of our dealers, and he said, Aaron, have you ever seen a quad box in a Nissan Versa? Well, no, I haven't. So Ernie, let's show the audience a quad box going into a Nissan Versa. So yeah, is it going to fit? I mean, from that picture, I would say no, it's not going to fit. But check this out. It fits. And just to prove that the trunk lid closes, look at this. Look at the clearance. I mean, you could not have designed the quad box to perfectly fit any tighter than that is. And that's the left, that's the right. So the trunk closes with the quad box in it, and oh my gosh, it's got a hammer. So yes, you can put a quad box in a Nissan Versa. Thank you, Ernie. So that is our fun stuff, our cool picks, our weird picks, and our funny story of the day. Next up, we want to talk about some events that are coming up, and we actually have a special guest in the feed. We've got Mr. Mark Eldridge in the feed, and he's going to talk a little bit about his soundstage engineering in Tulsa. So is he ready? Is Mark? Mark, you ready?
I'm right here.
Oh, wait, I got to put my earpiece back in. Sorry, Mark. There we are. So Mark, I have to tell the audience that you and I have never actually met.
Not yet.
And what's funny is that when I was in retail back in the 1990s, I remember reading about you and your Toyota.
Right.
And I thought, this guy is next level insanity in audio. And I think that's still true, correct?
Yeah, I tend to work at the higher end of the SQ realm. Yeah.
Yes. So what is the class that you teach? Tell us about that.
Well, I teach several different classes, but the one coming up this weekend is the meat and potatoes of what we do. It's the Advanced Sound Quality Seminar, and it's 2 full days. We get into everything from the human hearing system and how we hear and why we hear the way we do. We get into the reference systems and listening to reference music and learning what to listen for, what sounds good, what doesn't sound good. We have hundreds of demos, different things, and I'll move the camera here in a little bit and show you a couple of the items we use. But we test for speaker placement, we demo reflections and absorption, half-link differences, lots of different demos, and I'll move out of the way. If you can see here, this is actually a simulated car in the classroom. We've got a subwoofer, we've got mids that we can move around into different locations around the dash with the tweeters, 2 seats with the microphones. So with this system in the class, we can build whatever audio system the class wants to build, and I'll leave it up to them. You tell me where to put the speakers, and that's what we're going to do. And then we'll build the system, we'll tune it, and then they can sit down and actually listen to what we've done. So this is a great learning tool, learning how to get into a car and figure out where to place speakers, where not to place speakers, which is probably more important, because so many people, they'll put a speaker where it looks good. For example, that mid-range in the air conditioner vent,
yes,
not going to work great. You know, it looks cool and there's space for it, but it's not optimal location. But you know, laws of physics and audio are not necessarily something you look at and figure it out. It's something you have to understand the laws of physics and human physiology and how they relate, so you can build the system appropriately. So we do that. We have a number of people that bring their vehicles to the class, and we actually tune their vehicles while they're here and let everybody see how that process goes. You know, we do everything. And I've got a curriculum, I've got a book, you know, that I put together. It's about 80 pages long with different things. And we have an outline that's kind of the guidelines for where we go. But I'll leave some of it up to the class and what they want to talk about, because in 2 days, there's no way to cover everything. You know, I used to teach it for 5 days, and even that was tough. So, you know, with the 2-day seminar, I'll leave some of it up to the students. Hey, what do you need to know to do your job better? Or what do you need to know to make your car sound better? That kind of thing.
Yeah.
And
I gotta brag on you real quick, because a couple of years ago, Drew Jones, Bassaholic Drew Jones went up to your class, and on his way home, he stopped by here in Stillwater. You're only about an hour and a half from us. He stopped by here in Stillwater. Right. We had lunch together, and he was bragging on how incredibly impressed he was with your program and what he learned. And I mean, you may be the guy that turned him into an SQ freak. You might be the guy that did that. So
that is absolutely what happened. He came to this class. He was an SPL fanatic, you know, and he came to the class saying, look, I don't know anything about this stuff at all. And I said, that's fine. It doesn't matter. This class, the things we get into are not things you see out in the world normally. These are the real deal that you have to get into. And I've been doing this for 45 years now, and I'm still learning. You know, but Drew came to the class, and then he came back again, and he came back again, and he's coming again in June.
Oh, wow.
Most of these classes, about a third to a half of the class are people that have been here before, and they're coming back to learn more because they know it's such a fire hose in 2 days, you know, and they absorb it, but they don't absorb it all, and they come back the next time. Oh, now I get that. Now I get that. So yeah, we get guys coming back every class.
So, and your next class is March 1st and 2nd. That's like this weekend, right?
It's this weekend. Yeah, it's this weekend. We've got a few seats left. Yeah, we got a few seats left. But I've got some old head guys coming in from competitors back in the mid 90s are coming to this class. So we're going to have some stories to tell. Yeah.
But so we can't hear you anymore, Mark. We don't have good
these guys
hearing
actually
anymore.
they protected their hearing. They did good, you know. So that's
that's great. That's great. Well, hey Mark, thank you for dropping by, and I hope to meet you in real life at some point.
You bet.
I appreciate you being here, and
real quick,
we'll keep spreading the gospel of SQ. Oh, go ahead.
One thing we're doing. Anybody that's on this feed, if you get in touch with me and let me know you found out about through the show, I'll give you 20% off coming this weekend. So we've got just a few seats left, but we'll give you a discount if you see it here.
Thank you.
Yep.
So let me recap that. So if someone contacts you and says, "Hey, I learned about your show, your event through your class, excuse me, your class through Kicker Unmasked," you'll give them 20% off.
Yep.
Wow, that's fantastic. Thank you.
We've only got, like I said, we got about 4 or 5 seats left. I have to look and see, but yeah, it's coming up. Coming up this weekend. Short notice, I know, but we couldn't do this last week with all the weather and everything else. It kind of destroyed plans.
Yeah. Sorry.
That's okay.
Were you snowed in too?
I was snowed in too. Yeah.
Good. All right, Mark. Thank you, sir. Appreciate your time tonight.
All right, guys. Y'all have a good evening. Take care. See ya.
Good night. All right, folks. Drew is in the feed. Thank you, Drew, for chiming in. I loved having lunch with you that day and learning about you and learning about what you learned about. Your enthusiasm was infectious. So thank you. That was great. Okay, a couple other events. The final round of Arena Cross is coming up in Daytona Beach, Florida on February 28th. So that's, what, Friday? I think that's Friday. So this week, that's the final Arena Cross. And we also have American Flat Track in Daytona. The first race is coming up March 6th and 7th. So Daytona is having a huge motorcycle festival, all things motorbikes. And these are 2 of the events that are going on this weekend and then next week. And Bagger Nationals is also happening in Daytona on March 8th. So if you're in the Daytona area or within 100 miles around there and you love all things bikes, check out these events. There's so much going on. And of course, Lauren Morrell, the guy we love here at Kicker, he does so many events, so many activations for us. He's going to be at all 3 of those events because the guy doesn't have a life outside of what he does, right? I mean, the guy is amazing. Just a wind-up doll with caffeine. So he's going to be there. So go say hi to Lauren and give him a hug. He's a hugger, and you'll get a great hug from him. So those are some great events going on. Let's give away some prizes. As always, first prize is the BF100, the t-shirt, 2 koozies. Second prize is the TW2 True Wireless Earbuds. And third place prize, EB400 Bluetooth headset. So let's go with the third place. Who we got? Drum roll, please. Rob L. from Ohio. You're a third place winner. Congratulations. Second place winner, number 2, Farrell H. from North Dakota. Oh man, is it cold up there. Woo! We hit 78 degrees here today. I bet you hit 38 degrees today, right? You're the second place winner. You get the TW2 True Wireless headphones. And first place winner, oh, you already pulled it up, but I can't read it. Thomas M. from Rhode Island. I've been to Rhode Island a few times. I like Rhode Island. You're the first place winner. You get the BF100, which is a fantastic Bluetooth speaker, the Bullfrog. So there are our winners. Living Loud with Andy is happening after this on YouTube. Andy, run to the restroom, do your business, get online because I'm about to sign out of here and the folks are going to click over to your show tonight. Now remember, our next show is next Tuesday. That is March 4th. Next Tuesday, March 4th, we're doing back-to-back shows so we can get back on track. And we're going to talk about the new products. We're going to go a little more specifics in the new products. So we'll have some more fun. Thank you so much for being here tonight. It's been a blast. I'm so happy to be back in the studio with our friends. Stephen Bambrow running the cameras. Thank you, Stephen. We've got JW, who is running all things social with Colin. Those guys are tag teaming it. And of course, Ernie, who is running the switchboard. Gentlemen, thank you for working the show. Thank you, audience, for being here. We appreciate you, and we'll see you next Tuesday.